You might hear, or you probably heard people use the term valid, and most likely they've misused it. You might hear someone say, that's a valid reason, by which they mean that's an acceptable or a good reason. Strictly speaking, this is incorrect, since only deductive inferences and not individual propositions, like a reason, can be valid. And they are valid because they entail or necessitate the argument's conclusion. Some important things follow from the concept of validity. First, you wouldn't both accept the truth of a deduction's premises and still reject the truth of its conclusion. That would amount to contradicting yourself. For instance, if the premises state that some students at MEC are from Jamaica and all MEC students are enrolled within CUNY, it wouldn't make sense to conclude that therefore no Jamaicans are enrolled within CUNY. You would be contradicting yourself. And if you did this, you would be both asserting something is the case at the same time you were denying that it is the case, and that is patently absurd. Take this valid argument. Say we're in a computer lab and you mention to me that computer is either a Mac or a PC. Then you look closer and say, it's not a Mac. Assuming your first two claims were correct, we both know what follows. That computer has to be a PC. It would be absurd if you suddenly concluded that, therefore, that is not a PC. You would be contradicting yourself. Arguments are either valid or they're not. It's like being pregnant. Just as you can't be a little bit pregnant, so you can't be sort of valid. Validity is a very high standard which most arguments will never meet. In fact, the vast majority of arguments are invalid, but that doesn't mean that they're therefore worthless. Far from it. An entire class of arguments, including most of those we use every day, we know them as inductive arguments, have conclusions which do not follow necessarily from their premises, and therefore are invalid. However, their conclusions can follow with a sufficient degree of probability or likelihood to make them quite acceptable. We are here in the realm of induction, a place where extremely useful inferences occur, albeit ones whose conclusion can never carry necessity. Nearly all of our scientific arguments exist in this realm. The reasons they offer never provide absolute certainty for their conclusions, but that doesn't degrade them. It's just a different kind of inference. This concludes the second segment in Learning Module 3 on Chapter 5. Please continue now to the third segment.